TSM did something new and very interesting this offseason when they signed 2 players out of China's development league, the LDL. Support Shenyi and mid laner Keaiduo are the first LPL region imports to the LCS since LMQ sent an entire team over in 2014 prior to the region locking rules. TSM fans, I know you might be nervous about the mysterious unknowns of 2022 and the post-Bjergsen era, so let's spend a few minutes getting to know your new players and setting the table with some expectations. Shenyi made a powerful statement about his own potential when he was called upon to cover Crisp's absence and play 2 series with FPX's main team at the end of the summer regular season. He posted a 5.0 KDA, 67.9% kill participation, and 1.73 wards per minute over 5 games, winning 2 games each on Rakan and Nautilus and losing 1 game on Thresh. It's worth being excited about those games, but it's also worth stepping back and recognizing that a rookie support couldn't ask for a much better opportunity to shine than being slotted in alongside 4 players who had all won world championships in the previous 2 years. There's far more to Shenyi's 2021 story than his brief FPX substitution. Throughout the year on Fun Plus Blaze, he played an engage-heavy champion pool dominated by Alistar and Rel, with Rakan and Thresh also seeing double-digit game counts, and Leona coming close. Among that group, his Thresh was the only champion with a sub 50% win rate. In total, Shenyi only played 13 champions in 95 games, and 3 games of Karma were the only Enchanter presence in his pool. But versatility matters less than execution for a young player. Looking at that execution, Shenyi's deployments after recalls tend to go to the right places, and he has good awareness of emerging action and where he needs to move to get involved. It's safe to say he'll be a downgrade in lane compared to Tactical's previous partner Court JJ, but that's no real criticism, and I haven't seen any real red flags in his 2v2 play. Shenyi isn't hesitant to pull the trigger and initiate a fight when he's in a good position and sees a target in range. Whether he's engaging or receiving an enemy engage, he has a knack for preserving a sliver of health and getting out of fights alive. If there's a weakness in his initiations, it's that he tends to engage straight up the middle rather than searching for flanks and taking risks to get creative with his angles. He also has a tendency to play out setups a bit more methodically than his teammates, and sometimes misses out on openings as a result, whether it's because he paused to clear a ward, or because his reset and redeployment dragged out a few seconds too long. These are areas the coaching staff and his new teammates can help him grow. TSM will bring the best out of Shenyi if they draft him onto engaged champions and encourage him to match pace with Huni and Spica. With those 3 working together as playmakers, there should be lots of room for Tactical and Keaiduo to play follow-up and carry TSM to victory. Speaking of Keaiduo, he's bringing his own flavor to the TSM mix next year. Like Shenyi, there's a clear specialization in his 2021 champion pool, which heavily featured semi-global alts with an assortment of control mages and bruisers behind them. Beyond Twisted Fate and Rise, his 6-1 record on Victor stands out in a good way, offset by the 2-5 Syndra that he stopped playing halfway through the spring split. Keaiduo's proclivity for TF and Rise might make it look like roaming is his comfort zone, but from what I saw of Thunder Talk Young, it's more accurate to say that Keaiduo was playing what his team needed him to play. TTY worked heavily through the side lanes in the early game, with or without Keaiduo's roams, for better or a bit more often for worse. For his part, Keaiduo generally showed good awareness of when he could and couldn't get involved on the map, even when the rest of his team pulled the trigger on plays he couldn't join. When he did have roaming tools at his disposal, he did a good job of pulling the trigger on an ult or a teleport when the setup was there. So from the outside at least, it looks like TTY often tried to use Keaiduo to cover their weaknesses rather than playing through him directly. That doesn't mean he was never set up with strong lane matchups or given tools to carry. He played a fair number of games on champions like LeBlanc and Viego with win rates above 50% on both, but he looked less comfortable applying pressure actively in lane than he did with using pressure to activate globals. In fairness, I can confidently say he'll get far better help from his jungler while playing with Spica than he got while on TTY, so he should have plenty of opportunity to prove that he can play with resources. If TSM decide not to play through Keaiduo's lane, they can be comfortable putting him on control mages and letting him scale into teamfights. His 8.7 CS per minute in the summer regular season was 3rd among LDL mid laners, and he had the 2nd highest kill total with 145 kills in 36 games, en route to a 4.2 KDA. Expect to see his Victor banned during the lock-in tournament. When Keaiduo starts playing with TSM next year, expect some ups and downs while he settles into a higher tier of pro play, and while TSM find the best ways to fit him into their team concept. If he develops well, he can be a solid piece of the team's future. The eyes of the TSM fanbase will be pinned firmly on him and on Shenyi to find out how bright the future of TSM looks and whether the rookie imports can get them back to the top of the LCS.
Happy holidays, everyone. I just want to say thank you so much for watching that video. I hope it was the gift under your tree that you were looking for. And if you're looking for something that's too big to fit in a stocking, you should look at alienware.com/Travis and some of the sick hardware that they've got going on there. You know, it's the time to be maybe giving yourself a gift, maybe getting somebody else a gift, and you can use the discount code in the description to save money on that gift. So thank you so much to Alienware for sponsoring this video.